very first static fire test of Starship Ship 38 was suddenly halted at the pad, and this isn't just any prototype. Ship 38 stands tall with a full crunch wrap heat shield, the most complete thermal protection system ever mounted on a Starship. This breakthrough design could be the key to surviving the hellish re-entry at orbital speeds, and it's already on the pad preparing for Flight 11. But why did the static fire stop short? We are now entering the second half of September, and this is clearly the time for SpaceX to ramp up and complete the final preparations for Flight 11. SpaceX has once again captured everyone's attention as Ship 38, the final Starship version 2, was recently brought to the launch pad for static fire testing with the support of a special test system. With everything ready, it was time to establish the rollout schedule. At first, SpaceX planned to move between 10 p.m. on September 16th and 2 a.m. Central on September 17th. However, the timing was later adjusted to between midnight and 4 in the morning on the 17th. Supporting equipment was also moved into place right on schedule. The ship lifting jig arrived at Mega Bay too late on the 16th, followed shortly by the transport stand. Hours later, Ship 38, the final version 2 ship, rolled to Pad 1, where the chopstick system awaited. By the morning of the 16th, Ship 38 was lifted onto the test stand ready for its final trial campaign before flight. The static fire test window has been set with road closures scheduled from 10 in the morning to 9 in the evening on the 18th of September from 7 to 4 p.m. on September 19th. The schedule was carefully laid out with windows set for the morning through evening of September 18th and again for the morning through afternoon of the 19th. And from 7 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon on September 19th, both schedules are marked as primary, which suggests SpaceX may conduct 2 phases of testing. These 2 opportunities were designed to carry out a single engine test followed by a full 6-engine firing. On the 18th, the much-anticipated first attempt began. If everything goes smoothly, Ship 38's static fire campaign will be completed by September 19th or 20th. The day opened with activity at the tank farm, which showed strong venting as operations kicked off. The engine work platform was lowered and removed from the orbital launch mount, and technicians conducted flap checks on Ship 38 to ensure readiness. The iconic chopsticks then came alive, moving upward into position while the ship quick disconnect arm closed. Even the detonation suppression system was tested, signaling that SpaceX was following its standard checklist and that the process was unfolding as expected. As preparations advanced, venting at the launch mount indicated the start of fuel loading. At that point, the main visual cue everyone was watching for was the formation of frost along the sides of Ship 38's tanks, which would confirm the presence of cryogenic propellants. Unfortunately, frost never appeared. Venting at the orbital launch mount soon stopped, and still, there were no signs of propellant inside the tanks. A brief resurgence of venting suggested a second attempt, but the results were the same. Instead of frost, heavier venting on the side indicated that detanking was in progress. By then, it was clear that the first static fire test attempt has ended in a scrub. Naturally, the immediate question is why the attempt was unsuccessful. Others noted that the issue seemed to be related to the fuel lines. A clog, damage, or malfunction may have prevented fuel from reaching the ship altogether. Another possibility is that the pumps, which play a critical role in transferring propellants, were not functioning as expected. Since there was no visible frost on either the methane or liquid oxygen tanks, the most likely conclusion is that no fuel had been loaded at all. The root cause could stem from multiple factors, but one likely contributor is the strain placed on the system during recent booster tests. Loser operations demand the fuel system to run at extremely high capacity, which can lead to wear and unexpected issues. Additionally, whenever SpaceX transitions from booster testing to ship testing, engineers must reconfigure the fuel line connections to accommodate the ship test system. These changes introduce complexity and the potential for pump or connection failures. A similar problem occurred in the past. The very first launch attempt of Flight 10 was scrubbed due to a ground system malfunction, highlighting how frequently the challenge lies not with the vehicle itself but with the infrastructure on the ground. This situation again demonstrates that while the ship test system is a brilliant temporary solution that allows Starship operations to continue, it also introduces complications. For long-term reliability, bringing the massive test site back online as soon as possible is critical. That site would allow for more consistent streamlined operations and would reduce the risks of recurring problems at the launch pad. Even so, the recent issue does not appear to be catastrophic. SpaceX's ground teams are experienced at quickly identifying and resolving such problems, and it's likely that repairs or adjustments will be made properly to return the system to operation. With the September 18th attempt scrubbed, attention now shifts to the 19th, when SpaceX is expected to carry out the single-engine test. If that goes well, a new schedule will almost certainly add the 20th as the day for the full 6-engine static fire. These tests are crucial steps to validate Ship 38's readiness for its upcoming mission. Assuming the testing can proceed smoothly, Ship 38 should soon be rolled back to the production site for final inspections and installation work. Based on the speed of preparation seen with Ship 37, it is reasonable to expect Ship 38 to be returned to the pad later this month for stacking. Meanwhile, Booster 15 has already been at the production site for some time and should have completed its internal checks. The installation of its flight termination system and hot staging equipment is expected soon. Once the ship test system is dismantled from the pad and smaller supporting systems are reinstalled, Booster 15 can be rolled back to the pad to await stacking with Ship 38. A one-day delay in testing, while disappointing, will not significantly affect the broader Starship schedule. The possibility of a late September launch remains, though early October is perhaps more realistic. If Flight 11 can launch before October 3rd, the lessons learned from Flight 10's success. That said, the priority must always be careful preparation. A successful Flight 11 will not only validate the improvements made to the heat shield and other systems, but also set the stage for the next era of version 3 vehicles. It will build confidence within the program and sustain the pace of progress that Starship requires to meet its ambitious goals. Do you agree that ensuring thorough preparation is more important than rushing toward records? Share your thoughts in the comments with a yes or a no, along with your prediction for the Flight 11 launch date. The upcoming Ship 38 trials will not only represent the final preparations for Flight 11. Meanwhile, the launch pad will undergo its own preparation cycle with the ship test system removed and the cladding installed. At that point, Booster 15 will be rolled back out fully equipped with its hot staging ring and flight termination system, likely sometime between the 22nd and the 28th. This timeline keeps the possibility of a late September launch alive, though comments from Bill Gerstenmaier suggest Flight 11 may slip into early October. Even if the schedule shifts, the timing still offers an exciting prospect. Achieving this would not only demonstrate rapid progress, but also highlight the momentum gained from Flight 10's success. As for the vehicle itself, Flight 11 will not differ dramatically from Flight 10, but it does carry important upgrades. The most critical improvements center on the heat shield. In previous flights, metallic tiles were not installed in all areas, and gaps contributed to oxidation problems. For this mission, the heat shield has been fully outfitted with tiles to provide a more complete and reliable system. Additionally, SpaceX has implemented a new crunch wrap technique to secure the tiles and fill the gaps between them, preventing heat and oxidizer leakage. During its rollout, Ship 38 displayed a remarkable new look. Its armor appeared smooth and unified, with far fewer mismatched patches than before. Having a small portion of the nose cone still lacked tiles, which may have been intentional for testing or may be completed later. Overall, the durability and connection between tiles appeared stronger than ever, raising confidence in the system's ability to withstand the brutal heat of re-entry. Many observers now consider S-38 to have the most advanced and reliable heat shield ever assembled on a Starship. Of course, real validation will only come in flight. Flight 11 is a critical mission because it represents two opposing milestones. It is the final test of the version 2 design, laying the groundwork for the transition to version 3. At the same time, it must achieve success in order to maintain confidence, demonstrate progress, and keep the program's momentum intact during this pivotal period. The outcome will have a major influence on the schedule and goals of future flights. This final test will decide whether Flight 11 can move forward on schedule and potentially claim a new record for turnaround speed.
And that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that's all for today's update. If you enjoyed watching and found it useful, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. And if you want to support our channel and if you want to be up to date, you can become an exclusive member, so click on our perks through the link in the description below. Thanks to watching and see you next time.